Hi all. We're gonna make some pizza. I'm gonna follow this recipe here in this book. It's just basic pizza dough. So 1.5 cups of warm water. So I'm gonna make 3 of them. I got 3 bowls here. Measurements don't have to be perfect. There's no half cup on this thing. So it goes from 1 cup to 1/3. So I'm just kind of rough guessing it here. I like to make 3 because at least one of them will turn out good. Right, Ma? Warm water because that activates the yeast.
But not hot.
So then you get this yeast at the store. You get a 3-pack for like $1. It's cheap. So let's see here. 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Grab your salt. One teaspoon sugar.
Sugar.
You can buy dough at the store pre-made. That would make it go a lot faster. And then just heat up a can of tomato paste here. Tablespoon of olive oil. You don't have to use one of these mixers, but I don't feel like stirring it for a half hour. Just makes it a lot easier. And then you have to wait for the yeast to activate too, right? Let's see here. Well, they're saying 4 1/4 cups of flour. That sounds like a lot. Let's try that and see what happens. If you have a fancy mixer, it'll mix the dough for you. You can stick your hand in there and rub it around if you want. That actually turned out pretty good.
Yeah, there's quite a bit under in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna have enough flour. I wonder if I got another bag.
Okay. So,
Getting carried away over here.
so that's about the type of thing you're looking for. That actually turned out pretty good. See, then you leave that sit for about an hour and let it rise. And then after an hour or so, you know, half hour, 45 minutes, it rises up. Then you put it out on a pan.
I hope you don't need any more, because I don't think I have any more.
Well, we'll only make 2 then.
Because that's all I have there.
Oh, okay, well, that should work.
The only thing is, if it's too sticky, you ain't gonna have any to,
No, that's good.
not sticky, to roll it.
Actually, it's turning out kind of dry. You want to get a little warm water. That one's kind of dry. Oh, okay.
That's okay.
That's why I left it here.
If you have it too hot, it'll activate the yeast and then it won't raise.
So you can see how this one here turned out kind of soupy. That's what I was talking about earlier. Make 3, you get one that turns out good. So it'll probably be okay, but you have to wait and see what happens.
Well, if you think you would work, the other one's real thick, burned together.
Yeah. And then this one was kind of dry.
Well, mix them together.
Show them your sifter, Ma.
Huh?
Show them your sifter. It's down below over there.
The sifter.
Yeah. The other recipe I have is the old Italian recipe. Been around here for 100 years. It says to sift half of the flour. No.
Where is it?
Might be in the basement.
It probably is, I don't see it.
Yeah. You just used it a couple weeks ago. On those,
Oh, there it is, behind the cat food.
so this one turned out okay. So don't over knead it, because if you knead it too much, it won't rise good. So usually I stick my hand down in there, squish it around, put a rubber glove on, you know, and squish it around. But I got a cold, so I don't want to be sticking my hands in there. This one is still kind of mushy.
How come they always show the pizza guy playing with the pizza dough?
Yeah. It's nice to make your own pizza, because you never know when the kids work in the local pizza shop have herpes, you know. They're in there making pizzas.
JJ's playing with it, there's a chain stuck in it.
So in case you don't know what a sifter is, that's a sifter. You put the flour in there, twist it around. It kind of breaks up the flour. We're definitely due for a new one.
I never sipped it.
Yeah, we really don't use it. The only thing I use it is the only thing I use it on these days is my protein powder. If you've watched some of my videos there, you've seen that sifter.
Oh, and if you're desperate, you can use one
yeah.
of these.
Yeah, she's got one of these. Yeah. I suppose it would make it fluffier, right? I guess, but yeah.
The kids always play with these, they're all bent out of shape.
Okay, so that recipe was 1.5 cups of warm water, 1 teaspoon sugar, 1 package yeast, 1 tablespoon olive oil. Any type of oil is fine if you have regular oil. You know.
Corn oil.
Yeah. 4 1/4 cups of flour, 1/2 teaspoon salt. And then let that rise for 45 minutes or so. You'll be able to tell. Something that I do is I just use regular old spaghetti sauce and I cook it beforehand. And then just doctor it up any old way you like. So we'll put some parsley. Usually you put lots of parsley on top, so you don't need a lot of this. That's a lot. Garlic powder is always good. Pepper is always good. Maybe a half a teaspoon, depends on how much you like pepper. Do we put basil on pizza?
Yeah, you always have basil in your tomato.
Basil, just a little bit. It might give you a weird flavor. Okay, so then if you got some oregano, leave your spices out because you'll put this stuff on top too. So I'm just adding some to the sauce, spice up the sauce. Okay, and then cook it like normal spaghetti sauce. Cover up your doughs. Why do we cover up the dough?
Because it's going to sit there a while and you don't want dust in it or anything.
I thought it was to keep the heat in or something. Cover up the dough to keep the cat hair out. Okay, so here's our dough. Stainless steel cooking sheet. First I'm going to spray it with oil. That would probably be enough, just to spray oil. But I'm going to put a little bit of this on here. I'm not using olive oil because it doesn't work good under high heat. Okay, so we're out of flour. Okay, so normally you would put some flour on this so you can knead it. Oh, it raised a lot, but it's really fluffy. So
It's sticky.
yeah, it's sticky.
I don't know if the cornstarch would work. It's a dry, white powdery.
So usually you'd put some flour on here so it wouldn't be sticky. But we're all out of flour, so I'm just going to use some oil. See if that does the job. It seems to work. It'd probably be better than the flour anyway, so I don't knead it out too much because you don't want a flat pizza. We could probably use two of them.
The cornstarch made me cough. Ugh. It's like dust. Yeah, I don't know. Can have an awful thick pizza on there.
Well, we'll use half of it. Nothing wrong with thick pizza.
Some people buy those thin pizzas and they're like a cracker. They're so thin and hard. They come out like a loaf of bread.
Try and get some edges to keep the sauce on it. You can tell this is a cookie sheet because there's no edge along here. That's so the cookies slide off. Spray the edges so they brown. I think that's good enough.
You make one, and if it don't come out right, forget it.
Preheat the oven, 425.
Yeah, by the time you get your sauce and everything, I don't think it takes very long for the heat.
Okay. So I think I will put a little olive oil on here. Probably only got enough sauce for one anyways. Yep. That was only 1 jar of sauce. Oops. It's running off the side here. The dough's so mushy.
Yeah.
Too much oil on the pan. Oh shit, it's just running right off the side. It ain't never gonna cook. It's just gonna run all over the oven.
It's on the amateur cook.
It's just running over the edge here. Too much oil.
Not enough flour, this dough is too sticky. You're supposed to be able to handle it with your hands without it sticking to you.
It's not sticking. That's the problem. It's running right off the pan.
Well, that's why you have a pan with edges on it.
And then we're just going to use ground up cheese here. Get this for $1 at the store. And you can add some more spices. I'll put a little oregano on there. A little bit more parsley. Some pepper. And then garlic, course, if you got fresh garlic and stuff like that, that's always good too. I like these crushed peppers, but I usually put them after it cooks. Oh, it's just running off the side here, Ma.
Well, you got too much on one tray.
No, the dough is just too gooey.
And then you put pizza and a half on there.
See, it's kind of
No, you
it's
got
run
almost
off.
three, you got 2.5 pizza doughs on there.
No, I don't. It's just one.
Oh, the other one's over there. I thought you put that one on there too. It's supposed to be thicker.
There's too much oil on the pan. It's just running right off the pan. That didn't work either.
Did the light go out yet?
Okay, we got it in there.
Okay.
Okay, so I cooked it about 25 minutes. About halfway through, I turned it around. So it turned out pretty good, I guess. It doesn't look like it leaked off the pan. Okay. Turned out good. This end's kind of thick. That's where I added that extra dough. So that might not be a good idea to do. Okay, we'll let it cool and then we'll cut it. Okay, so here's how the pizza turned out. She cut the crust up and put it in this one. That was just the edges. You can tell the crust is pretty thick. And then the part with the sauce, put in this one. So it actually turned out pretty good. Tastes good. After you put it in the refrigerator for a while, it softens up some. So it's not so hard. Okay, see ya. Bye. Turned out good. See ya. Bye.